Professor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 12, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to participate in this year's scientific conference. Nice to see you again. The topic of my presentation will be issues related to the illegal immigration and the dangers connected with it. Illegal immigration, of course, has been a global serious problem for many years. Migration is associated with both positive and negative consequences and factors concerning the security of citizens and even the entire economic or political system of the countries to which migrants arrive. Illegal migration in the European Union is considered to be the movement of people from countries outside of the European Union across the border of the European Union without meeting the legal requirements for entry, stay, or residence in one of the more countries of the European Union. A similar definition was presented in the Commission's communication of the policy priority in the fight against illegal immigration on third country nationals of July 19, 2006. According to the third paragraph of the introduction of the above communication, the term illegal immigration is used to describe various phenomena. This defines third country nationals who illegally entered the territory of a member state by land, sea, and air, which is, of course, often done using false or forged documents or through organized crime networks of smugglers and illegal traffickers. This communication additionally includes such elements as cooperation with third country to prevent illegal immigration in the field of human trafficking, among others, or issues related to regulation of the stay of immigrants and their return. An important aspect that is provided for in the communication is the issue of illegal employment. In order to curb illegal migration, both the European Union and individual member states develop and then implement appropriate law, includes those of a transit nature. However, they are not always correctly applied, as exemplified by the events related to the illegal transfer of migrants to Poland by German police, which was revealed by the border guard, took place in June 2024. This is because one thing to transfer a foreigner on the basis of readmission in accordance with the current legislation, and another to turn a foreigner back when he or she does not receive permission to enter a given country. Unfortunately, illegal migration is most often inextricably linked with organized crime, including terrorism, due to the fact that members of criminal groups taking advantage of both legal loopholes and the physical likeness of borders achieve financial benefits in connection with human smuggling, trafficking, or collaboration with terrorist criminal groups. An important element related to migration, it is causes. The European Parliament has divided the causes of migration into two main groups. Firstly, there are push causes, causing the outflow of citizens from the country. Secondly, there may be pull causes caused by the desire to migrate to a particular country. The following table presents examples of push and pull factors. Among the attraction factors dominating area play, for example, is employment opportunity, high wages, or security. But push factors, on the other hand, include, for example, tensions, conflicts, not only military, of course, conflicts, but also civilian conflicts, intolerant society, and high unemployment. One of the most dangerous phenomena that is directly linked to illegal migration of the population are terrorist threats. Criminal groups, including those conducting strict terrorist activities, taking advantage of the migration situation, including the escalating armed conflicts in the Middle East, direct both their supporters and members of paramilitary groups to the European Union countries, additionally taking advantage of the trends of multiculturalism in order to cause destabilization and unlimited to prepare and carry out terrorist attacks. Representatives of the ruling groups of some countries, including France and Germany, believed, as reality shows incorrectly believed, that the cultural assimilation of immigrants into their new environment would take 2, maybe maximum 3 generations. It should be noted that in 2015, a significant wave of migration led to a deep political crisis in Germany that resulted in 69% of German respondents in 2016 strongly advocating a change in policy and an end to the indiscriminate admission of refugees. Serious consequences related to the terrorist attack, directly or indirectly linked to illegal migration, have affected many European Union countries, including Germany, Belgium, France, and Austria. An important aspect in the current times in which there is an increased uncontrolled to the end influx of migrants is to ensure effective protection of the external borders of the European Union. Internal legislation is also not significant, providing a legal framework that can guarantee the security of citizens. The most important legal acts related to combating terrorism are European Convention on the Suppression of Terrorism, drawn up of January 27, 1977 in Strasbourg, International Convention for the Suppression of the Financing of Terrorism of 9 December 1999, International Convention against taking hostages, and so on. Polish legislation in Article 115, paragraph 2 of the Penal Code defines terrorist offenses as offenses punishable by imprisonment of the least 5 years and committed with the purpose the serious intimidation of many people, forcing a public authority of the Republic of Poland or of another state or an authority of an international organization to take or to refrain from taking certain actions, causing serious disturbance to the system or economy of the Republic of Poland, another state or an international organization, as well as the threats of such an acts. It is worth mentioning that due to increasing terrorist threats, the Act of 10th June 2016 on anti-terrorist activities came into force on 2nd July 2016. The basis aim of the regulation was to increase the effectiveness of the Polish anti-terrorism system. Important bodies that it's the scope of their activities deal with guarding the security of the borders of the European Union and thus ensuring security against terrorist threats are Frontex, means European Border and Coast Guard Agency, and the Polish Border Guard. Frontex was established in 2004 as the European Border and Coast Guard Agency. In general, Frontex provides assistance in the protection of the external borders of the European Union and is tasked with ensuring their safe operational. In addition, the agency has the authority to conduct operational activities both throughout the European Union as well as in some countries outside the European Union, including but not limited to Serbia, Montenegro, Moldova, and Albania. According to the official data from Frontex from January to August 2024, the eastern border of the European Union was crossed by more than 11,000 people, of which citizens of 5 countries predominated, and so Ukrainians, Somalis, Syrians, Eritreans, Ethiopians. Regarding illegal crossing of the European Union's eastern border, the following table presents this relevant data. Returning to the issues concerning the terrorist threats are the following in the European Union countries. 29 jihadist and far-right plots were foiled between 2019-2021. In turn, among the most common motives used by terrorists were, for example, ethno-nationalist and separatist motives, as well as leftist and religious motives, with the latter dominating in 2017-2021. A total of 1,500 people were detained in 2019-2021 on suspicion of committing terrorism-related crimes. For example, the largest number of detention took place in France, 140 detention and 5 attacks, Spain 47 detention, 1 attack, Italy 40 detention, and Germany 33 detentions and 3 attacks, and of course Belgium 32 detention and 1 attack. With terrorist crimes, smuggling of people is directly related to the issue of tightness of the borders of the European Union. Only by sealing the borders of the Union will member states be able to properly conduct migration policy. In Poland, for many years, some political groups have criticized attempts to seal the eastern border, doubting, among other things, the effectiveness of the barrier initially erected and then the wall on the border with Belarus. Now that they have taken power, they have almost, magically realized that the only effective way to combating illegal migration is to seal the border. On June 12, 2024, the Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration issued a decree on the introduction of a temporary ban on staying in a specific area, border zone, adjacent to the state border of Poland and the Republic of Belarus. Currently, an extremely worrying phenomenon is the significant decrease in detentions of illegal border crossing in the European Union. The number of irregular border crossing into the European Union fell by 39% to 140,000 in the first 8 months in this year, according to preliminary data collected by Frontex. Conclusions. To conclude, it would be useful to summarize this dangerous phenomenon regarding illegal immigration in conjunction with terrorist threats. The influx of immigrants, in addition to the benefits it brings with it, including primary filling gaps in the labor market or cultural diversity, poses serious threats, including mainly in the security sphere. These threats cannot be completely eliminated. Only efforts can be made to reduce them. It is impossible to resist the impression that the countries of the European Union are trying to develop legal solutions to hand. In my subjective opinion, not all countries are treated in a manner proportional to their actions related to the assistance of immigrants. Mainly those countries are affected by armed conflicts. I have in mind, among others, Poland, where since the outbreak of the aggression war by Russian Federation, nearly 1 million Ukrainians have benefited from temporary protection, while in France only 65,000. In turn, from the beginning of the outbreak of war until the end of 2023, more than 15 million Ukrainian citizens crossed the border with Poland. Directly related to such a large wave of immigrants are numerous threats, including those of a terrorist nature. The most frequent attacks by terrorists occurred in Western Union, Western European countries, including France, Germany, and Belgium. For example, of this type activities can be multiplied. For example, on December 2, 2023, in Paris, next to Eiffel Tower, a Frenchman of Iranian descent killed one person and wounded 3 people while shooting Allah Akbar. On June 25, 2022, in Oslo, at the nightclub for the LGBT community, an Iranian national shot 2 people and wounded 22. He was a radicalist Islamist. On September 25, 2020, a Pakistani man wounded 2 people and tried to set fire to the headquarters of the newspaper, and whose frames a caricature Muhammad was published. Reducing the above described terrorist incident should at the present time be a priority of the activities of individual European Union countries, and especially those of them that have the greatest problem with illegal migration. Only the cooperation of individual services and the exchange of information on potential persons, including immigrants, trying to enter the European Union can bring the expected results. As some authors rightly emphasize, it is also necessary, in addition to the legal acts developed in a systemic way, to fight against indoctrination of citizens, which often takes place in cyberspace. Although some of the authors associated with the topic of migration doubt the effectiveness of educational activities aimed at reducing and even eliminating radicalization of the Muslim community. In my opinion, this is a desirable action that can certainly bring results in the future among the next wave of immigrants, as well as those already arrived in the countries of the European Union. Thank you for your attention.